Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 391. George, obviously not here, doing a closet episode this week. I have obligations this week, so we can't make it to the studio. But I feel like this week is appropriate for a closet episode, anyways. I want to appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, share this podcast. I appreciate everybody who DMs, comments, shares, and all of the above. Got kind of a lot to talk about today. All right. Um, Obviously, you know, we got a lot to talk about today. I'll be honest with you. I debated on whether or not to even do a podcast episode about this or talk about it. But, I do feel like I owe the conversation to it because we talk about everything and everyone when we need to. And this is no different than any situation. Typically, I've separated myself from kind of talking and going back and forth with certain people. I know I've had some run ins probably last year or whatnot, Ben Baller and things like that. But, you know, this situation is honestly kind of crazy. All right. And we'll get into it. Um, every single episode, usually I do an unboxing when I'm in the closet, but I just don't really feel like grabbing anything today. I haven't really bought anything in a while, so I guess if I talked about pickups, I really don't have any pickups. Usually I would open up something that maybe no one's seen in a long time, or something that someone may not be aware of or actually forgot they existed or something, but I really don't see anything or can't think of anything that I would want to unbox or show today. Um, huh. I don't know. I really don't want to try to do this right now and grab something. Usually I like to pre-plan it. Um, but I really don't see anything that I would show. You know what? It would have been dope to show some of those feelers up there. I don't know if I've ever showed them on the actual podcast before, but those who follow for a long time know I love Fila Mind Blowers because those are an OG classic from when I was in school. So I bought as many pairs as I could of the collaborations. It was only 50 pairs of each colorway, and I got about eight. Um, I don't know. Whatever. I think I'm good today. I thought about pulling out something. I'm good today. I'm good today. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Start an episode with pickups. I got no unboxing today, so pickups, no pickups whatsoever. Haven't even tried. There just really hasn't been anything that has piqued my interest in even trying or bothering to even try. I will say though, I have been looking at Archive. Shout out to Archive and Soul Seattle. I think it's Soul Seattle or Seattle Soul, whatever it is. Like looking at some of the stuff that some of the shops have been selling. Because prices are low. I looked at Rerun too. Like prices are so low that like there are certain things that I passed on or certain things that, I just didn't really give a second thought for a retail price. But now things are such a low right now that I'm interested in kind of buying anything. Obviously there is a few things that'll be coming down the pipeline, obviously Undefeated fours and things like that. So definitely want to cop those. Potentially the pink fives that are getting ready to come out. So I don't know. I mean, I have to see. But releases. So I will talk about releases today. There's just not a lot coming out. And, considering what the main topic of today is going to be, I got a few other topics that I'm going to talk about today, but considering the main topic today kind of shows you where everything is sort of sneaker wise. It's you know, you can talk about the same old with sneakers, and that's fine. You can talk about what's in, what's hot, what sucks, do top 10 lists. You can do all that. You could do interviews with people and just hear the same old stories over and over again. Um, but we've sort of accomplished all that. Like I said, this is episode 391. You know, I'm always down for anybody who wants to come on the podcast, but preferably in person. We do the on phone thing every once in a while. We haven't done it in a while, but it's just such a better feeling when you're like face to face with somebody in the studio, get to share the experience of like a podcast face to face, with somebody talking sneakers and sort of being in that room and feeling that energy, amongst the room. So being over the phone is sort of a little bit impersonal. I get it. Not everybody lives in Arizona or comes to Arizona to visit. And, anytime I travel out of town, I've kind of stopped doing podcasts. because most of my travel lately has been with my wife and kids. So I'm not gonna go separate myself from them at any point to go do a podcast. But you know, um, anyways, but I'm gonna go ahead and do releases this week. Obviously, George isn't being here. Shout out to my dog George. We'll be back in the studio next week. Not a whole lot of releases. I'm just gonna go through a couple few of these. It looks like a pack from. Oh, actually, you know what? This isn't a pack. This is a New Balance 740 V2. There's a pink taffy and a shoreline blue. This model sucks. We have a Air Flight Posit Dusty Cactus. I'm not mad at this colorway of the Flight Posit. For some odd reason, this colorway sort of it seems fitting for the Flight Posit. I don't know why. It just sort of fits the shape really well. The Flight Posit shoe itself is an unnecessary shoe that nobody should own unless they're actually hooping still. And I don't think anybody has the guts to hoop in those anymore to this day, today. We got a collaboration with, looks like On Cloud and FKA Twigs. I think FKA Twigs is that skinny little girl that used to mess with that vampire from them Twilight movies. I think she does music. FKA Twigs sounds familiar, but I think that's her. Looks like she has a pack. One colorway is called Desert. The other colorway is called Lily. It looks like a Clog Posit in the Dusty Cactus is also coming out. I'm not mad at the Clog Posit sneakers. I feel like I may have had those in high school playing basketball. One of them things to wear on the bus when you go away games. But I remember. Looks like a Jound A6 Gel Quantum 360 White. This joint is whack to me. George just sort of mentioned on the podcast in his own way of doing so. I'm not wearing sneakers that are 98% all white anymore. Like it'd be rare. And I'm talking, if I wear something that's majority white, it's got to have some additional flair on it to sort of break that up. AirTech challenges, lavas, the blue joints that's getting ready to come back out, the green joints, digitals. I don't even remember all the ones I got. US Opens, things like that, or Wimbledon, sorry. Maybe, but that's because AirTech Challenge 2 is the greatest sneaker of all time to me. What else do we got? We got the Teddy Santis pack. We talked about it last week, but I think it released overseas last week. But it's the Made in England, the 991 V2, the Grounded Pastels pack. Maybe this is a different pack. I don't know, but one's green, one's blue. We also got the Ama Meniere triple white Air Force One women's. It's actually a really nice looking Air Force One. I love Air Force Ones that got that thick material on it. And they got the little translucent sole on the bottom. I think I kind of like these joints. It looks like there's an Ama Meniere Air Max 95 diffused taupe. These joints are super whack. All right. I remember seeing the pictures for these, early this year, maybe end of last year. These joints are whack. I do appreciate the effort in trying to do something with the 95. I'm not a huge 95 fan, but no thanks. Then we got the AirTech Challenge 2 Stone Blue 2025. It has that vintage outsole on the bottom. So it's like the not reimagined, but remastered version of the AirTech Challenge 2. I think it was Tech Blue the first time. I can't remember. Something blue. I have that colorway. I do prefer my AirTech Challenge 2s now to have that vintage outsole on it because to me it just sets it off right. A vintage outsole on a classic OG sneaker, I'm cool with. I'm not a fan of like the vintage outsole on like something newer, but like an AirTech Challenge 2s, like them joints naturally start turning yellow. Them joints still look fire to me. What else we got here? We have an Invincible Time Gel Nimbus 10.1 HTTP 404 pack blue. Stop with the names. All right. I ain't mad at these joints, but stop it. All right. And then to wrap up a week, looks like some New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V5s. It's a runner joint. We also got a Puma Deviate Nitro 3 Mint Melt. All runners. And then it looks like we have two Dame Lillard colorways coming out. Stormtrooper and Lime Burst. If it wasn't for George making the point about basketball sneakers dropping this time of year due to Summer League and AAA and all that stuff, I would be so against this. I just don't understand signature basketball sneakers not during the basketball season. But these kids and everybody is playing basketball all year long. NBA Summer League is cracked off, and that's where the young guns come out there. So I'm sure some of them be on the court wearing some of these Dame Lillards. It looks like we have another Air Max Up Tempo 95 classic joint. I don't care for this colorway. It looks like it got some patent leather on it. It's a New York versus New York. I'm good on that. And then it looks like another Devin Booker colorway. This one's called Night. It has like some sort of like holographic look to it. Maybe a maybe a glow in the dark outsole. I really can't tell. It looks like glow in the dark, and the material looks like a ballistic type material. Um, Not necessarily canvas, but like a ballistic nylon type thing. No thanks. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week. So, all right. So, a lot of people have hit me up. A lot of people have hit me up. Obviously, everybody's sending clips and everything from every single social media blog, sports blog, not sports blog, sneaker blog, publication, etc. on the whole situation with Urban Necessities, Shoe Surgeon, and 2J Kicks. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people have been messaging me, waiting for me to talk about this entire situation. All right. It is not, it's pretty well documented that he is somebody, speaking of 2J's Kicks, is somebody that I just really don't care too much for. Okay. Now, I have talked about over the years, like, not talked about it, but sort of like hint at reasons why and stuff like that. And other people that live in Arizona have sort of hint at reasons why. Um, and it's just something that like I never really talked about that much. I kind of talked about a few situations he and I have had interactions online that rubbed me the wrong way. And you know, you know what? Here's the thing. There are some things that I'm not going to get into. One, because my wife would absolutely kill me, and two, George told me it's not even worth bothering saying, so I'm not even going to. Um, so let's do this. Let's go back, okay? um, I don't care for 2J Kicksman. I don't care for Shoe Surgeon. I don't care about anybody else that's involved in this situation, okay? At all. But I will say this and preface this. I believe 2J Kicksman. I believe him. Um, but here's the deal with believing everything he's saying and honestly caring whatsoever is when all this sort of went down and news broke and things like that, because I had been posting on Twitter randomly every once in a while. Does anybody know why he's not a part of UN anymore? Okay. Just like I said, and preface this, I believe everything that he's saying about Shoe Surgeon and that group and all of them. I 100% believe it. Doesn't mean I support him or anything like that, but I believe it. Now, here's my outlook on this. You know what? Let's do it this way. I'm trying to approach this in a way where I just don't go too crazy on here, but at least be able to explain myself and my thoughts on the situation fully. I'm going to break this up in three different ways. I'm going to break this up in three sections, all right? We're going to go, I'm going to talk about the understanding. I'm going to explain so everybody understands why I don't care for him. Now, this is a why I don't care for him. I'm not trying to convince you, and I'm not trying to convince anybody else. This is a why I don't care for him. Okay. And I'll explain some of these stories and whatnot, but I'm not going to tell them all. And I'll be honest with you, this is the last time I probably ever talk about this. He's going to have to murder somebody, or someone's going to have to murder him in order for me to talk about him again. Sorry. That's just the way it is. I'm over this whatsoever. All of these OG cats that started out, during this block of time of sneakers and whatnot, they've all sort of faded away. You don't hear nothing from Keith Omar and all them, Keith Bar and all them cats anymore. And I don't care about them anymore. They had their time and fun in the sun. Do your thing, okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to start with the understanding of why I don't like him, and I feel like it's necessary care for him. I feel like it's necessary to share that because of how much junk I have talked about him, and sort of taking jabs at him on social media and stuff like that. So I feel like I at least can tell you guys that. We're going to talk about the uneducated, his live videos that he's been posting, and his explanation and his sob story and his XYZ, and then we're going to talk about the just unacceptable from all you sneakerheads online, because all of you are embarrassing. And I don't care if you think I'm talking about you. I am. I'm talking about you. It's unacceptable how embarrassing and ridiculous some of you guys are. Now, like I said, I believe every single thing that he's saying. But when I heard this, I go, all I hear is a shady person got outshaded by even shadier people. That's all I heard because of my personal thoughts against him. Okay? Now, let's start with the understanding on why I don't care for him. All right? So, this goes back way beyond when I talked about the interaction, and I'll talk about that interaction again that he and I had a little bit of a back and forth online, okay, through the DMs, okay. We've interviewed him twice on this podcast. Well, let's go back and let me tell you guys, we've interviewed everybody on this podcast. Everybody. I know a lot of you think that we don't do interviews. We've already ran through everybody. Pause. We interviewed him one time, just me and Ryan. Me and Ryan were at a sneaker event. I don't know if it was the first sneaker con. I don't remember what it was, but we were at a sneaker event and he sat with me and Ryan and talked for about 40 minutes. And at the time, cool cat. I'll be honest with you, still a cool cat. I got real no problems with him. It's just that once I get a sense or a feel or a people begin to tell me the person you are, then that's how I feel. If I believe it, then I roll with it. Okay. If I don't believe it, then hey, it's just noise that people are talking. But I 100% believe it. Okay. And like I said, I'm not trying to convince you guys to feel this way or anything. Okay. Then we interviewed him a second time. It was me, George, and Ryan, and we were at the Glendale Convention Center at I think it was a Ben Had Those event. I think it was Ben Had Those. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been Heated Summit Soul. I don't remember, but it was in Glendale and like this one of those like type of typical conference room with ugly carpet and chandeliers and nonsense on the wall, right? So we talked to him, me and Ryan, the first time. I don't even remember what we talked about, but I'm sure it was probably about Ultra Boost and stuff like that at the time, because I think this was probably the second year of the podcast. First year, the podcast started 2016. Okay. So it was probably first year or second year. Me and Ryan went to that event. I don't remember when it was. Okay. Don't really remember much from it. I probably should have went back and listened to it before I came on this, but I don't care. Okay. Then we interviewed him a second time. Ben Had Those, Heated Summit Soul. I don't know what it was. Whatever. Okay. We're at this event. He sat down, talked to us, and he's running through the whole spiel and his whole life story and all this. And, he's talking about he's about to write a book and all that. And, got no problems with him. I know nothing about him in the moment. I know nothing with regards to him from the past. I know nothing about him because when we first started this podcast, I didn't have Instagram and all that stuff. I started that stuff prior. I didn't even have Facebook for a really long time. I didn't start Facebook because of the podcast, but I definitely didn't have Instagram, and I don't think I had Twitter at the time before the podcast started. So any understanding of him from the past, I didn't know nothing. I don't know this cat. All I know him is from person online who lives this extremely lavish life, right? From ideally reselling sneakers, okay? So we interviewed him on the second time on the podcast, and he's talking about how he's taken just an and like a hop on the plane, go buy some sneakers, one pair of sneakers for himself. I think he was talking about like a rare NMD. I don't remember what it was. He hopped on the plane, went, saw him, bought him, hopped back on the plane, and came back. I'm talking, you know, a tax bracket of lifestyle that I'm not a part of, and I don't know a ton of people that are part of it. But I'm not hopping on a plane for, you know, literally within hours. Hop off, hop back on. Like I took a flight just to go buy. I ain't doing that. Okay, fine interview. Had no problems with it. Seemed like a motivating cat. He was outside in the parking lot. I went outside to the parking lot because I just had to go do something. And he was out there standing next to a phantom or a ghost or one of them expensive joints, right? And he said something to me, you know, about coming to the store, whatever, no issue, no big deal. I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool. That's very nice of you. Appreciate it, right? Now, mind you, this event is full of people that actually know him. Like, actually know him. I don't even know if, and a lot of stuff that I'm about to say, I've never told this to George. I've never told this to anybody. I really just, it didn't matter to me. Okay. But I feel that it's necessary for me to just say why I don't care for him. Because if I'm going to poke jabs and talk junk about somebody like that, I got to be able to explain my reason why I don't care for that person. Everybody else that we've talked about on this podcast, whether we've had beef, non beef, issues, and whatnot, I've talked about and gave my reasons why and expressed why I dislike that person and whatnot. Now, for your understanding, there are a lot of people in Arizona that know him, like really know him. All of them have told and expressed the type of person that he is. I'm not going to say any of their names, but they all have, not just to me, but to George, to Don, to a few people that me know. Quite a few people. I posted our second interview with him in a sneaker group. It wasn't in the sneaker group that we were all a part of. We always talk about $8 Arizona Soul Sneakers, whatever it stood for. Okay. It was in a completely different group. When I posted it in that group, cats were like going crazy, like, yo, he's slime. Yo, he's shady. It started going in on him, right? I know nothing about this cat. I know nothing. All right. But then cats that we know personally started, hey, Greg, hey, things that he say, yo, don't trust him. They start saying all this stuff, right? I know nothing. Oh, word? Oh, okay, cool. Now, this is where it got really weird. This is Facebook. And no, I don't got screenshots. No, I don't got anything. I don't got it. I do have, actually, you know what? I have some of the screenshots somewhere that this person sent me from his Instagram. Okay. Now, let me go back and preface this, right? So this cat reached out to me from Hawaii. He said he was from Hawaii, right? I go, okay. He goes, hey, came across your show. I saw that you interviewed Jace, whatever, however you pronounce his name. And I'm like, oh yeah, appreciate it, whatever. And he goes, man, I just want to tell you, man, if you really want to make sure your platform shines and whatnot, you can't be having cats like him on it. And I go, what does that mean? I said, well, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? He goes, I've known him. That's what he says. Now, this is a cat that says he's from Hawaii. I know nothing about 2J Kicks, man. I don't know nothing about him. But this cat starts telling me his whole story about how he got started and being homeless and all that. He tells me that none of it's true. And I go, okay, because I can neither confirm or deny. I don't know this. But then he starts really getting into details about this and that and how, he's always lived with somebody. He's always had a place to stay and all this. He was like that whole facade about eating out of garbage and being homeless on the streets. He was like, none of that is true whatsoever. I am telling you what they said to me, and this is why I don't care for 2J's Kicks. I'm not saying this is true. I have no idea, but I believe it. So then that's why I don't care for him. So I go, okay. And he goes, man, take a look at this. So he sends me a link to Instagram. Now, at the time, I don't think I had the Instagram set up yet. I just wasn't privy to messing around. I'm like, man, fam, I don't know what all this. I ain't got time for all this. So then he sends me, like, I don't even know if you could screenshot at the time, but he sent me pictures from his 2J Kicks Man Instagram account. Now, at the time, it wasn't from 2J's Kicks. It was from another page that he has called like Ink King or something. Like Ink_King. That was the page, all right? So he sent me pictures and it's like 2J Kicks Man has a BMW. Like he doing it pretty okay. I'm like, what? I'm like, looks like he got a pretty decent life. Like it don't look nothing of like the struggle in like all this time. Now, to Beard Man's credit, the years and stuff that he talks about being outside and homeless and eating garbage and all that stuff is a little bit outside of what the person sent me. But this person was adamant about he's not telling the truth and whatnot. Now, this is a stranger. I don't know this man. I don't even know if it's a man. I don't know who this is, whatever. But then people here in Arizona keep saying the same thing. Now, they're super duper cool with him. They homies and stuff like that. So, hey, they willing to keep it secret, cool. Then what am I going to, what I care for? Now, some of you may be thinking, I mean, what's the big deal? Like, who matter? Who can? I have a problem with it. Because when I talk about sneaker culture and people and building things up like that, it's built off of 100% who you are, being able to be who you are, and being comfortable with that. He is extremely smart. Well, I don't know about that. He's extremely creative. He's definitely somebody who's a hustler. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean like somebody who can seem to make something out of nothing. Which at the time I go, why would he emphasize this stuff? And I go, oh, you know what? I guess it's equivalent to like it would be like finding out that Dr. Dre lived in, Calabasas and went to a school and, you know what I mean? Didn't really go, really wasn't from the streets or outside or nothing like that. You know what I mean? And I go, well, in my mind, I go, oh, cats do it all the time. Rappers and everybody put on this persona and this facade and whatnot to make themselves even seem even greater and all that cool. So I wasn't tripping about it, right? But then everybody here locally had a story, had things to say. I wasn't soliciting, I wasn't finding out, but then I go, you know what? Yeah, something a little funny about him. Cool. I just ain't really rock with him like that. It is what it is. He do his thing. He don't live here. I ain't got no problem. Hey, it is what it is, right? So then, oh, sorry. So the guy sent a few pictures. He sent the pictures of him with sneakers and stuff like that. He was like, he's always been in the sneakers. This whole facade of like wandering across somebody camping with sneakers, he goes, that's not true. He's always been the sneakers. He goes, ever since I've known him, he's always been in the sneakers. He's always made stuff on Nike ID. This is coming from this person. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, that whole thing about, the Barkley flight posit or foam flight posit, Barkley posit, Chuck posit, whatever it was called, that being the one that did this, he was like, he was been in the sneakers. He had been reselling sneakers and stuff like that. Then he sent me this picture of his website. He had a website called like 2J's Kicks where like people would pre-order sneakers online. And I go, this guy had a website. BMW just kind of don't seem like somebody who just, homeless eating out the garbage can and stuff like that, right? Daughter had like he said he got a daughter, mom. He said his mom was great. I don't know these people. I've never seen pictures. I know nothing. So then he sends this thing. He goes, man, let me tell you something. And then I started doing my own research, right? I started looking through social media and old interviews and videos and anything where I saw him talking. Some of his conversations and things like that when talking about himself started out with, we were going from hotel to I was living in hotels, and things like that, eating ramen and, gosh, the guy sent another post, a picture, something along those lines. Definitely nowhere near. It was like an appreciation post that 2J Kicksman had posted about himself. He was posting a sneaker. I don't remember what sneaker it was. And he said, yo, I remember something along the lines, I had this sneaker. I remember when I sold this, I was like going from motel to motel and, I was just trying to live life. Nothing along the lines about living in the park, homeless and eating garbage and all that nonsense, right? I'm not telling you it didn't happen. I'm telling you I don't believe it. And I'm telling you that people that know him tells me always, yo, that cat be lying. That cat, hey, cool. You say that. I don't believe it. I'm not trying to convince anybody else. So I go, you know what? Cool. I just ain't messing with that cat. I don't rock with cats like that. Plus, you know what? This cat is, he's a taker, he's a taker of the community. And that's fine. That's sort of that hustler mentality. You take, you take until you can't take no more. And honestly, that's what's kind of happened right now. Online, didn't bother with him. No longer followed him anymore. Maybe I follow him still. I don't know. We followed each other for a short period of time, right? Then it just kind of started getting gross. Like, and I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be this way. Phantoms and Bentleys and Lamborghinis. It was just over extravagant. Now, not the fact of the lifestyle is over extravagant. It's just that his and our understanding and what we see is that this is based off having a resale sneaker company. Getting like 25 pairs of a sneaker that hasn't released yet and you already selling them for 500. And I'm not going to sit there and knock that because a lot of people were resellers, all right? But at the same time, a lot of these cats that are resellers, I never, and maybe I missed it, I never saw cats that we grew up with like Riff, them running around being over extra. Not to say they didn't have it, but I didn't see it. It's really hard for me to go to you and you be like, yo, if you want this sneaker that everybody copped and you didn't cop, that's 700. And then I watch you drive around a Lamborghini. It irks me a little bit. I know, probably sounds a little immature, probably sounds like a hater, probably sounds stupid, but I don't care. It just does. Sorry. I don't care how it sounds to you. I don't care what you think. I am telling you this because this is a sneaker podcast and we talk about everything. And sorry, this is a part of the sneaker culture. He is a major part of sneaker culture, regardless of how anybody thinks about him. He just is. He put this post up. Two expensive watches. I think one was like 40,000, one was 30. I mean, just stupid expensive, right? And I've told this on here before. Check the camera real quick. Good. So he puts up this post, two watches, stupid expensive, asking us on social media, which one should I cop? I think at that point I had enough. All right. You're running around with like double digits of sneakers that don't come, that haven't been out yet, and you reselling them for 700. Not his fault. That's just the game and whatnot. But now you sitting there taking us, the consumer, for a lot of money, quadruple the amount of certain sneakers, and then asking us which one you should buy, the whatever watch or the whatever, like a Rolex and an AP. I don't even know what the watches were. They were up. It ain't my realm of understanding. They ain't posting like a Louis Vuitton surfboard and just gross, right? So I messaged him like, bro, buy your watch and shut up, man. Like, just buy your watch and shut up. Like, ain't nobody trying to see all that. I'm like, don't be gross. That's what I said. Then he responds back with, bro, this is motivation for those. This is motivation. I go, how is this motivation? You're a reseller with a resale shop. What are you talking about? You take, and then I'm not interested in seeing you spend $40,000 off of something that you've built off the back of everybody else due to people not being able to get sneakers for retail at stores. Sorry, I'm not interested in it. He said something back. I don't know. I said, whatever, bro. It's gross. All right. He goes, you know what? You have a blessed day. Cool. That was pretty much it for me with him. And that was it. Whatever. I'm not going to tell some other stories because I'm just not. All right. But that was pretty much it with me and him. All right. Fast forward probably a year or two, maybe the same year. He had posted something. I don't know if he was in front of a children's hospital. I don't know what it was, but he was giving back, right? I reposted it on our Instagram account and I said, man, that's dope, giving back. Like, because here's the thing, if you gonna build your wealth and everything off the backs of everybody else, not, and I don't mean when I say build your wealth off the backs, like he ain't selling 2J sneakers. He's not selling 2J jeans and clothes and stuff like that to build that type of wealth. He's selling sneakers to build that type of wealth. But he's selling sneakers that were 150 in the store and he's selling them to us for 600. Not me, because I ain't buying nothing. All right, and I never bought anything. All right, but he's selling them to you cats because you cats think it's cool. Like he's so cool that I'll pay the 600 for us. A black red 11. All right, or a Space Jam or a Pharrell NMD. Like and I get it. That was the time. Sneakers were going for that high. But I'm not interested in middle class to lower class person over here doing this and you over here pushing Lamborghinis like in our faces. You can call it motivation all you want, but to me it's just gross. All right. So he's in front of the children's hospital or something, or some hospital or something, taking a picture with some people. I don't know who they are. Cool. I reposted it on our Instagram and I said, hey man, that's cool. Giving back. Shout out to you. Something along being nice. I'm thinking to myself, now when I posted it, I said to myself, well, I mean, I guess if you're going to be that type of person who builds your money off somebody else, the least you can do is give back to the community. That's what I said to myself. So I had no problem posting it. Cool. Fast forward a couple years. I don't know how many years. We're doing an episode on the podcast and we're talking about SB Dunks. I think this is when SB Dunks started to come back around, right? In that interview, that second interview that we did with him, we talked about SB Dunks with him. And, because at the time, Boost and NMDs and Pharrells and all that stuff, Ultra Boost was in. It was top tier king of the mountain at the time. SBs were nowhere to be found. I'm talking, you could have got some OG classics for almost retail, all right? Crazy times. Nobody was checking for no SB Dunks for this period of time, right? SB Dunks were showing up in Marshalls, in the outlet malls. They were everywhere, all right? He came on our show. We interviewed him at that sneaker event, and he was telling us how they won't even buy SB Dunks anymore. They won't even take SB Dunks anymore to sell or consignment or buy or whatnot at all. Cool. Fast forward, SB Dunks are coming back. We're on the podcast talking about it. We're talking about, man, SB Dunks are back. This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. We bring up the fact that we had that conversation with him. And anytime I talk about anybody, I tag you. I always do. And let this be a lesson and an understanding for those who be trying to sneak diss me. Tag me. Because I know when it's a sneak diss. And sometimes I go, should I go ahead and reply? And I go, nah, because if you ain't got the guts to tag me, don't even bother with the sneak diss. All right? Because if you ain't ready to have a real back and forth, because I don't play around like that. And I go for blood. You better tag me. So we talked about him on the podcast. All we said was, we brought up Beard Man. That's what we call him on the podcast, Beard Man. We said, man, even Beard Man, it was crazy that how SB Dunks are back to where even Beard Man didn't even, 2J kicked Beard Man. They weren't even buying them at the moment. And now these joints are back. Something along those lines. I don't know exactly. The post is probably still on our Instagram page. I don't take anything down. I don't delete nothing. All right. I tag him in it because we brought him up. That's how I do it. He gets in the comment and puts this paragraph about, yo, don't be using my name to build clout for your podcast. Just start trying to like rip us a new one or something like that. I gotta jump out. What do you think you talking about? Like, you dummy. You're the one that came on our podcast and said that. Then George got in there and said something, and then he DM'd, then 2J Beardman DM'd me, and me and him were going back and forth. Either way, he then took down the comment, right? And I go, man, I'm sick of this cat. I said, you know what? Whatever. Any thought process of me going like, you know what? Whatever with him, forget it. I don't like you, and that's it. You stay over there. I won't bother you. You won't bother me. Cool. That's it. That's all I got for you guys with regards to the understanding about why I don't care for him. I'm not telling any more stories ever. There are a few of them, and some of them are some doozies, but I am not going to tell them stories because one, I can't confirm whether they're true or not. I can't even confirm why I know this information, but I'm not going to talk about it. Now, let's get to the uneducated, okay? Uneducated. He's put up a series of 3, maybe 4 Instagram lives, okay? I find it to be gross. I really do. Get yourself together. Because like I said, all I look at is a shisty person getting shistied by even more shistier people. That's all I see. Get yourself together. Don't come on here trying to build some type of army of people that's riding for you and going against Sue Surgeon because, like I said, I don't like him either. I don't even know what his voice sounds like. I don't even know that word. I know nothing about Shoe Surgeon content or anything about him except he just resoles a bunch of sneakers and makes a bunch of stuff and Nike sued him and blah, blah, blah. That's all I know. I don't know any of the other cats involved with this, but here's the thing. This is your battle to deal with. What you on the internet whining for like a little girl? See, this is what I hate about stuff like this is that when people get in these bad situations, then they want to try to come back to this like, this moral high ground and understanding because like I said, I believe you. I believe you got had. But you're the dummy in this situation. So you deal with it. All right? You built this, you deal with it. Okay? But you know what it's like? It's like when you're on an airplane and the plane starts shaking crazy and you be like, yo, Jesus Christ, if you make sure this plane lands, I'll be at church first thing Monday morning. Same thing with him. The plane is shaking. The plane is plummeting. You in, him, all it's plummeting to the earth. And now he on here talking about, bro, all I care about is the consigner. All I care about is the community that I helped build. Stop it. Don't come over here talking about that nonsense and want to try to come back to the community because I care about the consigner. Stop it. Stop it. Because you're not going to get on here and play dumb with me like, I just found out that they were stealing from you knew this. I ain't seen you. I haven't seen a video circulating of you talking about what they're doing bad at all in the last 3 years. You knew it. Don't come on here playing dumb with me. See, that's that uneducated nonsense. Cats get online talking all this stuff. I mean, he is just sitting there. I mean, nothing he says is making any sense whatsoever. One second, I just care about the consigner, bro. I just want to make the consigner, make sure the consigner is getting paid. Well, if they've been stealing for the last 3 years, I'm pretty confident that you didn't say nothing about it. Why didn't you say anything about it? If you're gonna try to convince me and convince everybody else that what they've been doing, you knew about it. You could sit there and tell me, yo, I wasn't part of the operations, but you're no dummy. I don't think you're that smart, but you ain't no dummy. And he's on the podcast, I mean, on the lives contradicting himself. Fam, don't glaze over your missteps and your transgressions. I hate that. I hate that false umbrella of accountability when cats be like, you know, there was a couple, I had a few issues, but I made up for it. Don't do that. I hate that because there's been a lot of people over the years, before the 3 years, even before that, who have complained about you not paying them their money. This ain't just popped up right now. It may be at an all-time high right now, but this ain't the first time we've heard stories about that coming out of Urban Necessities, period. So don't even play that with me. But I cannot stand somebody on a podcast who was will I mean, on a IG live or podcast or anything, who was willing to break down piece by piece what everybody else did, but just be grazing over everything that yo, of course I haven't paid everybody, but I mean, things happen. Of course, I missed a lot of payments and things went under the cracks. Eventually I paid for it, things slipped between the cracks, but it was so much going on. Wait, hold on, say that again? What happened? Don't do that. You're not gonna get on this live and come here and build this army of support for everybody else to go against Sue Surgeon, who I don't care for either, and be like, bro, Sue Surgeon, pay. I'm not interested in it because I'm gonna get to the unacceptable about you geek sneakerheads and understanding the difference between, hey, nice run, that was a nice, I supported you, but hey man, do your thing, figure it out for yourself. You need to understand the difference between that. All right. To talk about lawyers and lawyers and lawyers and lawyers. Is everybody that's supposed to be on your side a moron? I don't get it because here's the deal. You may have got, in which I said, I believe you. You may have got. But see, here's the thing. When you run into people and know people that are shyster than you, they know how to get people. They know how to get people. They're the ones that don't get got because they follow the guidelines to get people. So even though you may be on the short end of this situation, I'm pretty confident that these shystier people understand what they're doing and they got you. And now you sitting here twiddling your thumbs talking to us on IG. I'm not interested in it. I'm sorry. Not. You're going to have to fight this battle yourself. Don't use the community again because this is what happens. You use the community to live this lavish lifestyle, whatever. Then the lavish lifestyle comes crashing down. And now you want to use the community again to, back you back up again. Sorry. You get one shot at this and you had quite the shot. What a run. People can call me a hater. They could say that I'm jealous. They could say that you could say whatever you want. I don't care. I don't have feelings. There's only one person on this planet that can hurt my feelings. But this is your doing, your responsibility. You go ahead and fix that inside your house. You go ahead and get you a monster, sit on the couch, and you figure this out yourself. Because I've never heard of anybody, and we're talking about Vegas here. Vegas is the land of scams. Vegas is the land of getting over on somebody. It is home base, besides probably Nigeria and probably New York City. It is the home base for pulling a fast one over somebody to take advantage of any other situation that can uplift and bring up somebody else over somebody else. I don't even know if I said that right. You mean to tell me every lawyer that you brought into this situation? Oh, we'll see. We'll figure this out. Okay. I'm not going to say anything about your wife and anybody else because cats who do that are disgusting. You're a weird person. I seen Bima post a picture of his wife in a state and whatever she was in that photo. Just, why you gotta do that? Don't be gross. I see ugly Welty from Sneak Complex. God, he's ugly. Now I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm no, sex symbol or something like that. But he is ugly. That's who y'all get y'all sneaker news from. He don't even look. He is ugly. Ugly. And he on here talking about 2J kicks. You're ugly. Go shave your beard, shave your head, and brush your teeth. You're ugly. Dear God. Ugh. I couldn't believe how his face was in that camera talking about the 2J kick situation. You're ugly. Is it Welty? The bald one with the beard? He's ugly. I don't even know how much more I can say that. You're an ugly person. Ugh. Where were you at? A prison cell? Like, why are you so close to the camera? Ugh, you're ugly. I don't care. I'm not gonna sit there and talk about your wife because all I'm gonna tell you is that, and this is facts. When he posted about his wife's situation, I sent him a DM. Hey, this is after I've already decided I don't like you. I don't care for you. Sent him a DM. Hey, man, you and I don't care anything for each other. You don't care for me. I don't care for you. But I would never wish that on anybody like that. Nothing but prayers coming from me, man. I'm hoping that everything works out. Something along those lines. I sent it to him. He read it, didn't respond. Cool. I ain't tripping. But I ain't no complete jerk. But I will say this. And maybe he has it. I don't know. Doesn't come across as he has it. I have a problem with people who drive Lamborghinis, take private jets, jet set all over the country, wear $4,000 sneakers, $10,000 jackets, Louis Vuitton surfboards, diamond watches, chains, buildings in Caesar Palace. And you don't got health insurance? No, he hasn't said he doesn't, but he doesn't come across as somebody who does. Let this be a lesson to everybody. I don't care how little, how small, how big you are. Get health insurance. You got kids, get life insurance. Do you understand? I don't care that the state took your money and your funds. I don't care. That's your problem. Everybody must follow the same rules. You don't get to get on social media and try to tell us so we can have sympathy for you. And you can sit there and get on there and talk about, "Oh, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just looking for the consigners." You know what it sounds like? It sounds like when you watch one of those reality shows, and we've all watched them with our wives and girlfriends. So don't do that. Don't act too cool for me when I bring this up. So one of them reality shows where a bunch of women who all they do is argue and fight and they go on vacation. It's like, why are y'all on vacation knowing that y'all kind of hate each other's guts? And it's always that one woman in the group who has a problem with everybody. Always in the middle of every single fight. Always in the middle of every situation. Always in the middle of somebody else's business. And then she gets into a fight while on vacation. And the first thing that she says is that, you know what? I shouldn't even be here. I just want to be at home with my children. You should have never came if you wanted to be at home with your children. If you cared that much about the consigners, you should have said something quite some time ago about this. This is a 3-year window, and you just found out this week? You just found out last week what's been going on? Stop it. Don't play dumb with me. I hate when people play dumb. I hate it. You want to take accountability? Take full accountability. Sorry. Take full accountability. Because let me tell you something. I kind of believe some of the stuff that UN put a statement out. I kind of believe some of it. I do. So like I kind of believe both sides a little bit. Like I said, I feel like it's a shisty person got out shisty by shistier people. I don't know how many times you get on IG Live and start doing math. And if you add this up and you do this, you don't even know the answer. And you legit go, I'm bad at math. I know nothing about math and numbers. Duh. That's why you in the situation you in now. Duh. If somebody else was responsible for the math, put them on the live. I don't need to hear you do imaginary calculations and the answer comes out to, I don't even know how to do math. Take care of your own stuff inside your own house. You don't need to share it with anybody else. Because I know what you're doing. You're trying to build an army. You're trying to build a following. You're trying to build a support system. Where's all these rich cats at? Where all these cats you was hanging out with? Where Mayweather at? Mayweather, he ain't got it for you? I seen you take a lot of pictures with celebrities. Where they at? They got some of that bill for you? They got that loan for you? Where they at? You're not gonna sit there and take the money from the community at quadruple the price of the pair of sneakers and then sit around and be like, bro, I ain't got nothing no more. Hey, I'm gonna tell you just like the kids tell GG. What was that, GG? Good game? Hey, GG. Give you a little dap, give you a little pound, little smack on the hip. Hey, good game, man. You did your thing for a minute. Time to go out there and strap up, try to figure out what's going on out here. Start over. Take your lumps, start over, and move on. Because let me tell you something, the state and everybody, regardless if you got duped, the state just don't freeze your accounts and take your money if that's the case. Sorry. They don't move like that unless they have legit proof and reason to do so. Because here's the thing, all these lawyers that you talk about, you're in triple digits or whatever digits you are in paying these lawyers, triple digit hundreds, whatever you said in paying these lawyers. Well, they couldn't get an injunction to unfreeze your accounts because they don't got the proof of this. Nothing. You got duped. Sorry. But I got other things to do, man. I got to get to work, man. I got to record the podcast. I got to go tend to my kids. I got things to do. I don't need to hear you and see you on social media being a whiny baby. You're going to be on ESPN again. It's probably a 30 for 30 this time. All right? Fight your own battles. Don't use the community to back you up, to fight your battles, to help you out, to attack those that wrong you. Sorry. No. You made your bed. You lie in it. You made poor decisions. You lie. You know what's crazy is that, you know what's even ridiculous is that people that are like, yo, you should have had a lawyer. These guys are weird. You think he didn't? Clearly something is up. They're shystier people than you. You got duped. Let's talk about the unacceptable. I am legit embarrassed by some of you who have been commenting on his posts, commenting in his IG lives. Embarrassed. I can't believe some of the things I see you guys in there saying. You all have mental illness, okay? There's a difference between, hey, being a supporter over the years, watching his content and things like that, from being outright thoughts. You don't know him. None of you. You know what's funny is that majority of the people that are making comments and majority of the people that are watching the IG lives and commenting on his videos and who's got the most opinions on it have never been to Urban Necessities. I've been to Vegas, I don't know how many times in my entire life. I've never set foot in there one time. Most of the cats who are on the comments being thoughts, talking about, we support you, we back you, you're a stand-up man. None of you have ever bought anything or consigned anything at Urban Necessities. But you online being a thought stand-up guy, you don't know him. Yo, I was at SneakerCon and I said what up to you and you said what up back and we chopped it up for a minute. Yo, stand-up dude, solid guy. Based off of what? Saying hi? Are you okay? I've been screenshotting comments from people and sending it in threads to other cats that I know, and we've been dying laughing. And some of the laughter is of embarrassment. Like, some of you guys are actual losers. And let me tell you something. If you think I'm talking about you, I am. Don't think like, well, Greg can't talk about me. I am. I don't care if we know each other. I'm talking to you. You're weird. That don't mean we ain't still cool and friends, but you're a weird person. I seen the hashtag Team 2Js. Are you okay? Yo, you a solid stand-up guy, one of the realest in the game. Based off of what? Because you saw him on YouTube? You took a selfie with him at SneakerCon? A stand-up guy, fam. Some of the things that you guys are commenting in there, bro, this is the comeback story. Come back even bigger. How much bigger can he come back? Y'all are talking about this is the beginning because, prayers up because you about to come back bigger and stronger. Fam, he was at the top of the top. I mean, shoot, what next? He gonna come back flying a rocket ship? The man was driving Lamborghinis, ghosts, diamond chains, luxury apartments, houses, Louis Vuitton, all the things that you could think of. And you talking about, yo, this is for the big comeback. To what? At this point, based off how he's acting and talking, it sounds like he needs to survive at the moment. Which makes me even feel a little funny because you know what? I just don't believe it. I don't know if I believe the whole thing. But you guys, y'all believe anything y'all see in here on the internet. He gets on here with a sob story, yo, all I care about, bro, all I care about is the consigners. Buddy, let me tell you something. You about to lose your house, according to you. I don't believe any of it. Sorry. I don't believe he's going to sell any of his houses. I don't believe he's going to do any of that stuff. I just don't believe it. People like that are narcissistic like that. Narcissistic? Is that the word? Narcissist? They're not going to give up any of their stuff that they worked hard for or acquired throughout the years to suffice or meet the needs of anybody else, period. I just don't believe it. I don't see it. I just don't. If all your money is gone and all your accounts are frozen, shoot, how you survive? How you living day to day? Hey, I'm talking about just every day. You in that IG live drinking Monster and stuff, shoot, Monsters are expensive. Hope you got an unlimited supply stashed up. You cats in the comment, bro. Yo, just one of the most humble people I've ever met. Why? Based off what? Because he told you, thank you so much for watching my YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. And you guys are like, whoa, he's a friend of mine. He's not your friend. He's now looking for friends. He's looking for an army of mental ill knuckleheads like you who are so into him that you're not even paying attention to the bigger issue here. The bigger issue is that this is your problem. I seen a cat. You know what? Let me go ahead and find that picture. I sent this one in the thread. This one almost made me. I almost messaged the guy and said, suck my. Let me read this comment. This cat posted on 2J Beardface's IG video. I remember you liked, capitalized liked. He emphasized that liked. I remember you liked my post on Twitter. I posted Vans on my feet while watching your YouTube videos. It was back then when you were uploading, when you used to upload quite often. And that means so much to me. And I really miss your content, bro. We miss the old UN. Get some help. Is that what Jordan said? Get some help. I seen you cats in his IG live leaving comments. This man is on IG live talking about millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And you geeks are in the comments talking about, bro, put up a GoFundMe. I'm trying to support you. I got your back. I want you to start a GoFundMe for a time machine, and I want you to make it, and I want you to go back in time and make sure that your parents never meet. That's what I want you to do. A man is on the internet talking about multi-million dollar deals, and you're asking, can you give him money to help him get back on his feet? I want you to build a time machine. I want you to climb inside it. I want you to close the door. I want you to latch it really tight. I want you to set the date to, we'll say you were born in 1983. I want you to sit there and take that ride. I want you to find your mom and dad, and I want you to keep them away from each other. Keep them as far as apart from each other as much as possible, by any means necessary. Even if you got to choose which one you love the most, keep them apart forever. You're weird people. I wish I would beg and ask a person if I could give them money while they're on here talking about how much they're paying lawyers and millions of dollars. He's probably sitting in a multi-million dollar house doing these IG videos. You guys are weird. You have mental illness, but it's okay. There are places for people like you. And if those places don't work out, well, then you can go to HE double hockey sticks. I don't care. You're a weird person. A GoFundMe? Now, to his credit, I'm glad he hasn't started a GoFundMe, and I'm glad that he's adamant about he never will. I'm glad. Kudos to him. That's awesome. Do I believe it'll last if he's really talking about how bad things are? But if you are on the internet asking I don't care if his money is frozen, if he got zero, his accounts are frozen. It may not be his in the moment, but it's his money. You're on here asking a multi-millionaire if you can help him get back on his feet. I've already made my point. It's unacceptable. To wrap this up, there's a few things that I want you all to take out of this. One, other people's problems ain't your problems. I don't care if you like, subscribe to their content whatsoever. I don't care if you've seen them twice at SneakerCon. I don't care if you shook their hand and it shook it back. I don't care if you asked for a photo and they said okay. Their problems are not your problems. It's okay to say, hey man, bro, that's crazy. Prayers up and move on. It's okay. It's okay. What did the young kids say? GG? It's okay to say GG. Good game. It's okay. Hey man, you had a nice run, buddy. Let me know if you hit the comeback button. If not, hey, man, you won't be forgotten. But it is unacceptable for you guys to be so simple minded. And like I said, I believe him. I believe he got duped and robbed and ripped off by these other people. I 100% believe him. But I go, a shisty person got out shistied by other shistier people. That's all I do. And then I go, well, buddy, nice run. But don't come in here with your problems. We got our own problems. I don't need yours. And most of us are just using it as gossip just to laugh at you. And I know you're like, well, I want people to talk about it. Think about the consigners. Stop it. If them cats would have gave you a stupid amount of money to walk away into the night, I guarantee you wouldn't have been saying a word about consigners. I know it. Period. You would have just went like, it's not my responsibility, not my business. Nah. Once you found out that legally you're still somehow tied to this mess, now it's about the consigners. It's about the community. It's about, bro, that's all I care about. Even if I have nothing, I just want to make sure the community and the consigners are taken care of. Nah, nah, nah. Wah, wah, wah. I got zero sympathy for you. And let me be the first to tell you guys, if I got some sad stories and stuff like that and some things that's going on, you would never know about it. Never. Never. Especially when it's something like this. Now, you got a passing in your family and and you're sad and you talk about that. That's 100% understandable. But if I sat there and screwed myself up at work or some type of business or I did something, I ain't coming on the podcast. I ain't coming on something to be explaining and looking for some type of support or something. It is what it is. I got to take that L. You can't be in your videos talking about, yo, I got to take this L. I got to do this. I got to do that and all that. But at the same time, bro, I'm angry. Well, you know what? You should be sad too. All right. You should be scared. That's what you should be. Angry. Nah, you should be scared because you may find yourself in prison. All right. Because if they talking about, the way you talking about this, it sounds like you may be in some real trouble. All right. And a little word of advice, stop paying for these lawyers because all of them sound like morons. All of them. Either they're morons or you're screwed. I'm going to talk about this last thing before I go on the podcast. I want to talk about Halliburton tearing his Achilles tendon. I'm only talking about this because I seen other publications posting what Cameron said off of It Is What It Is, talking about how it's because of the sneakers that these athletes are wearing. First of all, me and George have been talking about that, and I've been running with that narrative for I don't know how long on this podcast. We are 390 episodes in about sneakers. We have talked about this numerous times. Just as of probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, I just talked about some of the things that I would like to see come back in sneakers. Here's the deal, right? Do I think low top sneakers are an issue with some of these injuries? I don't think it's the fact that it's a low top sneaker. I think it's the fact that these sneakers are made out of nothing. See, here's the deal. At some point in time, people stopped playing basketball and sports in genuine leather. We used to play basketball and run and dunk and dribble and put the ball in the hoop in genuine leather. We used to do that. Now everything is a hyperfuse, a knit this, a flex this, a stretch this, a alpha this, a foam this. These shoes weigh ounces now. They're not strong enough to support your muscle movements and things like that. They don't even have the correct weight for a human body to me. You cats out here running around talking about these are too heavy. I can't play basketball and these are heavy. You wimps. You wusses. Basketball in a Jordan 4? Bro, that's heavy. That's why your legs are weak. It ain't the low top sneakers. It is what these sneakers are made out of. These sneakers are made out of nothing. Some of these sneakers materials are so thin, you can see right through them. You can shine a light on them and see right through them. And they expect you to pull off the most athletic feats of all time in basically feathers. Lightweight sneaker. Don't be a fool. This is a lesson to all brands and people that listen to this podcast and people play basketball in sturdy sneakers. It don't got to be a high top. It don't got to be a low top. It don't got to be a mid. It needs to be sturdy. Kobe's aren't sturdy. None of these sneakers, these Jordans, these new Jordans, these hyperfuse, hyper this, alpha material, GT cuts, none of that stuff is worth a dime. It is paper thin. They weigh ounces. They think if your shoes weigh less, you can do a lot more. No. If your shoes will have a little weight to them, you get a little bit stronger. Your bodies and muscles do a little bit more. This is my opinion, period. George used to make fun of me. I would go hoop in Jordan 4s. I used to hoop them as a kid. Why can't I now, bro? What changed about my body? Why can't I go hooping in Sean Kemp kamikazes? Why not? What changed about my body? Why can't I go hooping Air Shake Dennis Rodmans? Why can't I go hooping Jason Kidd Flight 95s, Flight 96 Olympic pennies? Why not? What has changed about my body to where I used to be able to do it as a kid, but as an adult, I need lighter shoes? You wusses, you wimp. Make sneakers great again by using genuine leather. And here's the deal. It's not about the low top sneakers. And even if it was about the low top sneakers, guess what? You can't go nowhere to buy anything else. They don't make any other sneakers anymore. You can't say, whoa, you know what? I keep getting hurt in these low tops. Let me go to the store and buy some high tops. They don't exist. The only high tops you see are when they retro something. There are no high tops. There are no mids. They don't exist anymore. Everything is a low cut sneaker in a trillion different colorways. That's all you got. You got 200 plus pound humans out here running around wearing low top sneakers. There is no reason why a human as large as Giannis Paws should be wearing a low top sneaker. Anthony Davis out here in Kobe's, are you okay? Anthony Davis out here hooping in Kobe 5s. I'm all worked up. Let's get to talking. I'm worked up. I didn't even mean to sound that angry in that segment. It just understanding, uneducated, and unacceptable. That's the sneak diss.